Hi, welcome to Trap Souls. I am Ryan here, and I'm with Pabsmophobia. I was asking where you got your name from, but is your name Pabs?
Well, my name's Paul, but my nickname was Pablo, and then it got shortened to Pabs, and then that's where it came from. So, me and the rest of the guys who unfortunately couldn't be here today played Phasmophobia, the computer game, and it sort of was a meld of the Phasmophobia, which is a fear of ghosts, in computer game, and then Pabs, so it came Pabsmophobia.
That works then. That works. So where at in the UK are you guys is actually located at?
Yeah, so we're southwest, so we are sort of between. Well, Bristol's probably the biggest city to us, not far from Bath either. So sort of the Cotswolds, really.
Yeah, because I've interviewed a few groups from over there, and UK is not huge.
It's not.
I don't know where to compare it to, like the United States, a state, but I mean, I think I was talking to Emily Paranormal one time, and she was like, "Yeah, so it's a far investigation is like 2 hours away." I'm like, that would be nice.
Yeah.
2 hours is not that far.
Yeah, it's not far at all, is it?
No.
But yeah, so quite well located there. I mean, the UK's got a rich history, right? Goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, and I'm quite lucky that a lot of that history is around the Cotswolds area as well. So, some interesting places around here, even if they're not sort of infamous, they're well known sort of locally.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much history UK has. I mean, everybody in the United States that does paranormal, that's like their dream, is go to UK. Because you can just step out and it's just history there. I mean, it's unbelievable what you guys have going on with there, paranormal wise. I mean, I guess you're just lucky. I mean, there's people from the UK that say, "Oh, I want to go to the United States." I'm sure there's places over here that you guys heard of and would love to investigate too.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean,
you see like Gettysburg and the Conjuring House and all these places that are quite famous, and everyone's talking about it on YouTube. But then it's the flip side of that. You've got like the history of the UK. So yeah, I see the benefits to both really.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking history of the United States. We're talking like 1800s.
Yeah.
UK, you're talking 200, AD. I mean, it's
exactly that.
It's a huge difference there. Do you think you see when you go investigate, how old do you think those spirits are?
God, now you're asking. Could be sort of 600, 500 years old, depending on where you're going. The Ramming where I was this weekend with Haunting Night, so I do hosting for their an events group that I'm helping out with hosting. That was built in 1145, so sort of 650 years older than the United States itself before Columbus came over, so.
So talk about the ancient Ram Inn. How popular has that gotten since Project Fear has done that?
I mean, it's been quite popular anyway. I suppose it's considered one of the world's most haunted buildings. So it's always been there. To put it into perspective, a lot of the other sites that I host is very much like local people that are attending it. So people who live in and around the Bristol area. But the events that I've been hosting at the Ancient Ram, we've had people coming over with, I think.
Oh, shit. Oh,
we've had people from Los Angeles coming over, Canada. So people sort of internationally coming to that event, whereas everywhere else it seems to be more local. So.
Sorry, something happened here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like most people over here heard of the Ram Inn, but never really looked at it as like a famous place until Project Fear went over there. Then all of a sudden it was like everybody wants to go to the ancient Ram Inn.
Yeah. They did make it I suppose more famous than it was before. Obviously, Ghost Adventures came over here, but it's like that. And it's said to be built on ancient ley lines. So read into that what you will. I don't know if that makes too much of a difference in terms of the paranormal entities that are there, but it could be a factor, right?
Seems like you do that place a lot. Is it as dark as people say then, like energy wise?
I think it's the same as any building. The spirits will do what they would do when they want to do it, not on cue. So I've had days where I've been there and it's not been that dark, and then other days where you go there and it does feel a bit more oppressive. So I suppose it really depends on sort of the time that you're there and whether you get lucky with it or not, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, over here, we have our places that have dark history, I guess, or just dark entities. But then we go into, I believe, majority of spirits are just want to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my philosophy. I mean, I think everybody's getting sick of the word demonic in the paranormal field. It gets thrown out there way too much.
I think so. I think that's thrown out there, I think, for those people that are looking for those clicks and then the views, right? I don't think it's necessarily like, I suppose, a skeptical believer. I believe that there's something out there, but I want to see it for myself and I want to capture that evidence and be quite scientific about it. So I'm not going to say that every building that's reportedly haunted is haunted. I like to see the evidence for it myself, and that's why we investigate. If it was easy, you could bundle up a video with, things being thrown across the room in the space of an hour, then everybody would be doing it, and we wouldn't need to investigate because the proof would be there.
Yeah. Do you think we would ever get proof?
I'd like to think so, but whether mainstream media and science would accept the proof, I think it's another matter. I think there's sort of two sides to it. I think you always have those hardcore skeptics that are going to be like, no, it's just not possible, but and it's not normal. That's why it's called paranormal. So people won't accept it. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way to gather the evidence because no one's ever found it yet. So
yeah, no, I mean, I always tell people, they're like, "Oh, what evidence you got?" I'm like, I hate calling it evidence. I just call it interesting.
Yeah,
because there's always someone or something. Somehow you can debunk it somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think is the best piece of equipment that's hard to debunk?
Piece of equipment? I don't know. I think obviously camera, video cameras. Probably video. I know you can fake video, but you can tend to tell when things have been sort of duped. I think AI is going to be a big factor now, making it a lot more difficult. And we see some of the deep fakes and stuff that are going around on the internet now, and it just makes you wonder if you're ever going to be able to get evidence that is going to be believed, because there's so much sort of AI stuff that so much that AI can do now.
Yeah, and it's pretty compelling too. I mean, it's the stuff out there. I mean, I use AI mainly because I get bored at work, so I mess around with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm glad they kind of put a little watermark on the bottom, but you can get rid of that too.
Exactly.
So,
it is scary what it can do, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's going to hurt the paranormal world in the long run, because there's going to be people out there that like just want clicks.
Yeah.
So they can just slam on that.
For sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
No, I didn't share it to my one Facebook page. I have 2 Facebook pages, so I'm just trying to make sure that jumps on there. All right, we're good now. So we'll get into some paranormal stuff. When did you start your group?
We started around about 18 months or so ago, about a year to 18 months ago. As I said, we've been playing Pabsmophobia on the PlayStation and Xbox, and just gaming online. And we're like, it'd be great to do this in real life. So yeah, there's a couple of people I'd not met before. I've met via a mutual friend that we're playing online with. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So then we started it up, and we've done a couple of investigations since.
So it's fun. I mean, that's how it starts. A bunch of friends together having a good time.
That's it. And I think that laughter and energy, I think, helps to energize the atmosphere that you're in, and it helps bring the spirits out. And I think they're warm to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, this has come up a lot in my last podcast about just people having fun. It seems to draw the spirits out more.
Yeah.
than going in and just asking the regular, I don't want to say stupid questions, but the regular questions that everybody asks.
Yeah. And I think you touched on it earlier. I think if someone's coming to your house, right, and they just start firing a load of questions, you're like, well, first of all, what are you doing here? This is my house. What are you doing? Why do I have to answer your questions? I think it's that sort of thing. You need to get them to warm to you to make them want to sort of interact with you. So it's no good saying, anybody here? And expecting a response. First thing they're going to think, well, I'm not going to talk to you. What are you doing here? You know?
Yeah. And you got to think, like, every night someone's going in there asking the same questions. Exactly. And I think if you go in and just have a good time, I mean, the spirits want to have a good time too. I mean, you're going to the Ram Inn. I mean, I'm sure that was a popular place back in the day. You know, just people that are having a good time. I mean, I know there's a little dark history to it also.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even the dark history, they probably went there and had a good time.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. You know, you talk of the highwayman, you know, hiding away there. He's hiding from prosecution, but, you know, he's there, you know, and it was a pub right up until the sort of late 1960s where you just go and have a drink. It was a local village pub. So you're going to have that atmosphere where people just go and go have a good time, chat with their mates. So it's got that sort of feel to it. So, yeah.
Have you ever gone there? I'm trying to think of where Project Fear was when they got all those EVPs or the spirit box. I think it was the pub area. Have you ever gone there and just sat around and act like you're at the pub having a good time?
No, if not, I think it'd be really good to do that. Because like you said, I think, you know, they'd warm to that, whether the spirits from sort of yesteryear and the bishop's room and the witch that's involved in the building would warm to that. But maybe you might get some less, I suppose, sinister or notorious spirits come forward if you were to do that. So I think it's a really good idea and something we should try, really.
What do you think in the UK is do you think there's a lot of more dark entities there than the United States because of your history?
Possibly. I mean, I think with the sort of medieval history and stuff that you've got within the UK and just the way that, you know, battles were fought, it's quite dark. You're sort of sword, just staring people in the eye when you're thrusting your sword through them. Think, you know, the portcullises and all the tar being thrown over the castles. It was quite a dark and heavy sort of atmosphere to be involved with during those sorts of combats, I guess. And the tribal wars of yesteryear, so maybe. But again, I suppose if you are evil, you're evil, whether you're in the UK or the US. So I don't know, maybe.
All right. Still trying to do this Facebook thing. Sorry.
That's right. Well,
I've never had it happen before. It's like it won't play out. There you go. Now we're on. We're good now. All right. So how many team members do you have then?
So we've got 4 sort of core ones. The last investigation we had 8 there. So some of our friends came along, and so it's a bit broader. But it's the 4 sort of central ones that sort of spin off from there, really.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like smaller groups are getting a little more popular now.
I think so. I think you get used to working together. You sort of, I think you bounce off each other a bit more. If you have too big of a group, I suppose I said too many chefs spoil the broth to a certain extent. I think there could be too much going on. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not a spirit myself, but maybe that might sort of get spirits a bit on edge, whereas a smaller group maybe help them warm and come through to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that, you know, when you go to a place over and over, the spirits get to know you.
Yeah.
But also, I think, I guess, fresh blood, you want to call it, you know, going in a place and asking different questions can help too.
Yeah, and I think from a group perspective and the synergy of working together, maybe a smaller group's going to help. but I don't think you necessarily then bring so much energy into it, because there's not so many people for them to feed off of and bring that sort of charge to the atmosphere like we were talking about earlier. So
yeah, I mean, do you guys have a lot of like hospitals and stuff you guys investigate over there?
I've not done any of the hospitals around here yet. As I said, we've only been doing it for about 18 months, but there are some around here. So North Wales, we've got Garth, which is sort of an old mental hospital. So we've got that one. There's Newisham up in Liverpool. So there are a few around where you can sort of investigate. So it's definitely on the bucket list.
Yeah, it seems like the United States, most of our like, I guess, famous haunted places are prisons, mental hospitals, poorhouses.
Yeah.
I mean, I said the United States is not as old, not even close. So maybe that is our dark history.
It could be, or I think it's just where, there's obviously a lot of deaths that are associated with hospitals. Illnesses like stuff where there's sort of outbreaks, they tend to end up in the hospital, and then it spans out from there. And then I suppose the history of people when they're in those places, they're quite vulnerable. So if there are people that are going to take advantage of that,
yeah,
but that's going to bring the sort of dark energies with it as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about smaller groups, and when you're talking about those places, I think that's when spirits are more comfortable with smaller groups.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to think of patients, who do they see all day, especially like psychiatric hospitals? It was just them and a nurse.
Exactly.
So I think when you bring like 10, 12 people into like one room, they shy away a little bit. Or they could get really angry. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it could work both ways, to be fair. They could get angry, I suppose. Give him my privacy. I'm here on my deathbed. Just leave me alone.
So, I mean, investigating wise, what is like, I don't want to say like your best evidence that you ever captured that you believe?
I think the one that stands out the most for me, I think it's probably because it's my first investigation. So I was on a group event, and I didn't know what to expect. And then I started to doubt myself. Was I actually seeing it? Is it my eyes playing tricks on me? It's the first time I've done one of these. I've sort of thrown myself into it. But I was at a place called Warmley Clock Tower. Now, that's an old pin factory. So a brass factory. It's operating around in the 1700s, so it was quite old. So the working conditions there wouldn't have been great. So there's no sort of reported deaths there, but I'd imagine, like in industrial England back then, accidents would happen. Maybe the bosses and the money people wouldn't necessarily be as nice to the workers as they would be nowadays. But as part of that, there's an annex that's been built on there. So we're in what was called the flat. So there's 2 stories, and we're in the ground floor, or the lower floor of the flat. And there's a staircase that goes up. It's only a small sort of room that we're in. I'm looking towards the doorway. The host was sat down on the floor, and she had an Alice box out. And I thought I saw sort of a shadow of a head sort of poke around the door frame like that. And like, is that my eyes playing tricks on me? And then I can't remember the word. I think it was farmland came through on the Alice box. And I said, I thought I saw a shadow come through just before that word came through. And they're like, okay, that's interesting. And then I'm looking again, and then I see another head come through. And again, another word comes out. So it's almost like this, I'm going to call it a spirit. It was a shadow, was actually looking around the corner, saying something, then poking its head back. And now I can't explain that. I saw it. Nobody else could see the shadows, but where I was sat, I'm looking straight at that door. But the timing of the fact that the words were coming through in the Alice box,
Yeah,
at exactly the same time as the figure was looking around the corner, for me, as a personal experience, it's great. But for somebody sat next to me who didn't see the shadows, it's probably like, well, no, it's just a word coming through there and it's your eyes playing tricks on you. But for me, it was real.
yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it? Which is what we were talking about earlier about evidence and do we think we'll ever capture it? Well, I'm not sure, because a lot of the things that people experience are sort of personal experiences rather than something they can actually document.
But I mean, that's what keeps us going, though. It's those personal experiences.
Exactly that. And
Shadows. They're, I don't think they just like being captured on video. I mean, that's it. I mean, I was doing an investigation and I had my video camera out and I was looking at
Yeah.
my video camera screen and I saw a shadow walk across the screen.
Yeah.
And I finally caught it. Like, I'm so excited.
Yes, there we go.
And about a half hour later, there's like a room behind me. So I had my camera like, tilted a little bit.
Yeah.
And the screen was facing the other couch. And my two teammates were watching the screen because it's, night vision. They saw something walk across. And they're like, you caught that. Nothing on video.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, it was on the screen.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and that's the third time that's happened, where I catch something with my own eyes on the video screen. And when you go review it, not one thing there.
That's mad.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for that either, is there? No logical explanation that I can think of anyway.
It wasn't just like my eyes playing tricks. I mean, my teammates, two of them saw the same time.
Teammates have seen it as well, yeah.
When they saw it, they were both like, whoa, dude, like both of them. I'm like, sweet, I can't wait, Yeah. I'm like, so disappointing, but again, personal experience.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, when I take new investigators around, they always want, the doors are slammed shut, get pushed down the, I don't know, stairs. I don't know what they want, but they think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, evidence doesn't have to be like that. It could just be a feeling. Like you walk into a room and you get that heavy feeling like you don't want to be there.
Yeah, of course.
That's a personal experience. I mean, to me, I love it. I love it.
And again, I think, I don't know, just weather, and we're talking about the storms you're going through at the moment and the weather. Does that play a factor in it? And does that play a role in terms of how the building feels? Because there's times when I've been to some of these venues multiple times, and there's been times where I've walked into a room in a building, it's been absolutely fine. And the next time I go there, totally different feel to the room in itself. And is it something to do with the sort of atmosphere outside? And is that playing a factor in terms of how dark a room can feel, how it can sort of affect you? And I think as investigators, we need to sort of take note of what's going on, what the climate's like outside each time we go. And then we can do those comparisons about, right, is there a synergy between what the weather conditions were like and how that room makes me feel each time I go back there? But that's what keeps us going back, because we want to be able to document that and find that out for ourselves. And then if that room feels dark on a bright sunny day, but it also feels dark on, a really stormy night, then we know that maybe the weather's not what the factor is there, and maybe it's just the spirits were there one time and not the last, and it's that side of things as well.
I mean, do you think weather plays a part into it?
I think so. I mean, we talk about us as people being conduits for energy and being able to charge a room, but maybe certain get my teeth in, atmospheric conditions affect how they have the ability to come forward. If a lot of talk about thundery weather, but that static electric that's building up, does that help to charge the room so that the spirits can feed off of that to then sort of give us that evidence that we're craving for that big experience where maybe they knock something off of a shelf in the poltergeist cases, or slam doors? Does the weather give them the chance to charge their batteries, as it were? I don't know, but maybe it does.
Yeah, because I always talk about like running water underneath the building or near it, lightning. Every time you watch a show and it's storming out, they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be a great investigation tonight because the energy's filled." Do you think like temperature has a huge factor in it?
I think so, because obviously you then get the expansion and contraction of like particularly in older buildings, like wooden floors and stuff like that. So that's going to play a factor. Going back to the thundery side of things, I think it's twofold. Yes, it could be a great investigation because of the electricity in the air, but then are a lot of those things that take place because with those storms comes higher winds. And if there's a draft coming through the building, that's what's causing the doors to slam, rather than it being the fact that the energy has been charged so that spirits can do it. So it's that, catch 22, the yin and the yang, I suppose. It could be either or, couldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, my group's been together for about 18 months. I've been doing this about 20 years.
Yeah.
But lately, and it's been a topic, is weather. And I believe, because I have a place right down the street from me, actually, I'm going tonight, that in the winter, it's 100% more active.
Yeah.
So we tested that theory last year. We went in February, and there's no heat in this building. I mean, it's cold. I mean, tonight's gonna be like 18 to 20 degrees. So without the wind, it might be like 30 in there. So let's say a huge place. It's an old seminary, and the first time, not the first time, but took my group there in February for their first investigation, and it was nonstop. And of course, you want to go back. I'm like, yeah, we got to go back.
Yeah, we've got to go back.
So we went twice during the summer, not much going on, a little bit here and there. I'm like, we got to test this theory. So we went back in December, active. I just went earlier this month, active. So I think cold weather has a big deal. I don't know. Someone said like the molecules and everything moving, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know any of that stuff. But I don't know. It's interesting, people's perspective of it. A lot of people say, once they think about it, yeah, cold weather does seem to be a little more active.
Yeah, I think so. I was at the Ram this week, and it's been really cold. It was much more. I was going to say eventful, but that makes it sound like loads of stuff happened.
Yeah,
it wasn't loads of stuff. I've been there and like literally nothing's happened, but it just seems to be there was a little bit more happening when we were there this weekend. Smells coming through. So we were doing an energy circle to start the night off. People one side of the barn area were smelling strawberries, the other side couldn't smell it, and then sort of 5 minutes later, it's like someone was walking around and the scent was following them, and you're getting a waft. You take one breath in, you can smell it, and then the next breath it had gone again. So there's definitely something going on that I'd not experienced there before. Shadow figures are being spotted in the barn, but that's consistent at the Ram. That barn area is always sort of tall, shadowy figures, notoriously known in there. But yeah, it was a lot colder than it's been at any other visit, and maybe you're right. Maybe that did help to sort of play a factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a theory to test. I mean, it doesn't hurt, I guess. Still get to go investigate, cold or not. So
that's it.
So we'll get into a little bit, like equipment wise. Like, what is your go-to equipment when you go somewhere?
Yeah, well, we're starting out at the moment, so I suppose it's the finances in terms of trying to build up that sort of arsenal of equipment. So we've got limited stuff. So it's K2s. I have got another one which gives you a bit more, because I like to know specific figures. One that gives you readings as opposed to just having the lights on there. So I tend to use those in conjunction with one another. Cat balls, Ouija board, but really just using your body. And I think I'm a strong believer in terms of using the tools that maybe suit the nature of the haunting that you're going to. So I've got a mindset that maybe the more traditional things like dowsing rods and Ouija boards are going to be better for some of the older haunts, because these new electronic gadgets may scare the spirits away because it's going to be alien to them. It's not something they're going to be aware of. So maybe they might distance themselves from it. So yeah, I think it's not one particular item. It depends on the environment that you're going into. I've had some great experience with dowsing rods. Interesting things on the Ouija board. There's a Warmly Clock Tower that we went to. The brass factory that I spoke about was built in the 1700s. It was actually run by a family called the Champions. Okay. I was doing a Ouija board session in there, a group event. And so with the group events, I don't read too much into the Ouija board quite so much, because you can't trust the people that are on there with you. So you don't know if somebody's pushing it. And then obviously with Ouija boards, you've got the ideomotor effect as well, whereby, you might not consciously be pushing it, but you are pushing it. You just don't realize it. But we actually had the phrase, we're talking to a spirit who was from around the 1980s, 1970s. We got talking about music. We asked what music did I like, and they came through as Queen. and then it actually spelled "We Are the Champions," and then it wasn't until after the event I'm thinking, well, is that the Queen song "We Are the Champions," or are they talking about no, "We Are the Champions" as in the family who ran the place and built the pin factory? So it's,
Oh yeah.
but no, interesting things with things like that, you know, and I think it's tools for the right sort of job.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like spirits, and I always find it funny too. I mean, we all do it as investigators. Like you put the REM pod out and you go touch the REM pod. And this spirit's like, what the F is a REM pod? Like,
Yeah.
like,
You know,
what are you
that green light there, not a REM pod, the green light, you know, or the red light, wherever light you got on there, that's the one you need to walk to.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I mean, we all do it. Like, oh, go touch that REM pod for me. And they're probably like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. But you're talking like the human factor into stuff. And I love dowsing rods. People in the United States are scared of the Ouija board. I mean, it's just like a thing. Like a lot of places don't even let you take Ouija boards in there.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of like opening portals, inviting something demonic in.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think this is for me, it's like it's a tool, and it's like with power tools, right? A power tool not used correctly is a dangerous tool. So yeah, a Ouija board is a tool. It just needs to be used correctly to make it not dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tool. I mean, I think humans are more dangerous than a Ouija board.
Yeah.
I mean, the way some of these investigators go in there, I mean, I think it's getting better, but they want to just walk in and start talking smack. I mean, I think that's more dangerous than using a Ouija board.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, and I think that goes on to the respecting of the buildings that you're going into as well, right? You hire places, or you know, you get given permission to go into these places, do your investigations, and be respectful of what you're doing. You know, respect the building you're going into, respect the spirits that are there as their home. But also, if you are on public events, respect the people around you. Everyone's got different beliefs. You will have skeptics that are going along. There are true believers in there, and you know, just respect everybody. I think there needs to be a lot more respect in this sector, and not just, well, my point's right, yours is totally invalid. There's no right or wrong because nobody's found the right way or the wrong way yet, right?
Yeah.
It's just do your best and just be honest about it. As long as you've got integrity and you're being honest and true to yourself and what you're seeing or what you're finding, then it's going to be a great place and a great community to be a part of.
It is, and I'm seeing a switch in that. Of, you know, 3-4 years ago, it was all about, you know, the individual. Like they were so quick to call you out, that's fake, and all that. But I think in the last like 2 years, probably just a year, it's like switched tides where people are coming together in the paranormal field and saying, I don't believe it, or, you know, not being an ass about it. I'm like, I just want to say it that way. Cause like 4 years ago, you put something online, dude, you got dog smacked.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and you're like, no, like this happened. So, I mean, I think it's going in the right direction of people believing and respecting other people's opinions. But yeah, it's a huge factor, especially here in the United States, is the, you know, what they call para-unity. You know, that's a big topic right now. We're not going to get into that because it's all drama right now over here. So
yeah.
So I mean, we'll talk like para-unity. Do you guys work with other groups then?
We'd be open to it. Obviously, we just started out, so we're trying to sort of get our stuff settled down and stuff. So as I said, I've just started hosting for Haunting Nights, who are an events group. So the reason I've done that is, one, to gain experience a bit more and work with other hosts who are probably a bit more experienced than me, so I can learn a bit from them as well. So I suppose to a certain extent, yeah, I'm working with other groups because I'm working with other hosts and we bounce off of each other. But also, as I spoke about before with equipment, it's an extra bit of money coming in that I can then sort of use to build up that arsenal of equipment to enable us to have a bit more, a few more tools at our disposal to go out and do our own investigations and then look to collab with people. So yeah, definitely be open to it, but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think collaborating is good because you get to learn different techniques of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And equipment wise, it's expensive. Like you said, it takes years to keep buying equipment. You see something on TV, you want to go buy it. But collaborating with other people, it's kind of nice because they might have that piece of equipment and you get to try it out before you go dump $400 or $500 on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And realize this thing's not for me. I mean, I've done it. I mean, I'm like, oh, I want to get this because Project Fear is using it. Then
yeah, it'd be great, but
I've had it 2 years and used it like twice. I'm like, oh, this thing's stupid, But again, one piece of equipment can work for somebody and not work for the other person. So
exactly. And again, I think from one side to another, it could be a totally different story as well. So
what do you think about phone apps?
I suppose that says it all. I don't know. I mean, mobile phones, yes, they've got lots of tools and sensors in them. But it is a bank of words, and I've left it running in my house and had things come through. I'm like, well, I've never got a sense that my house is haunted. I think it's just firing words out randomly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're all the same. I've not tried them all. There's so many out there. But yeah, I don't hold too much stock in them, but I'm not going to say that they're not real. It's just I've not really tested them enough to say otherwise.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I was at work and I turned one of my apps on just to show a coworker, and it started spitting words out.
Yeah. But I suppose it's the same with an Alex box. It's just a word bank. Is that just firing out words on a certain time cycle? I don't know. So it's one of those. It could be a useful tool. I don't know too much about how they're programmed. That's the trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good. I don't want to say starting point, but I bought a phone app because nothing was happening on this investigation. We're in this room for like an hour and like nothing.
Yeah, I think it's good to sort of get you talking and come up with some ideas, and it passes the time a bit better, because if you're sat in a room and nothing's happening for an hour, then it's a long hour, right? It feels like 2 or 3. If you get the app out and it's coming up some stuff, it might give you some thoughts, and you might get some intelligent responses from it. I'm not saying that they're totally not relevant, but
something could pop up and like. What's one like I'm standing behind you. That's what it always says that I'm behind you. And you're like, you're behind me. And the spirit could be like, you can start getting active. Like, no, I'm in front of you, dude. Like,
or help me or something like that.
I always find it funny because in paranormal, you can spin it any way you want.
Yeah.
You see it all the time on shows. Like they're asking questions and it goes outside. Oh, you're outside. And they all run outside over a word bank phone,
Yeah.
Spirit's out here now. I'm like, no. I mean, but.
And if they're outside, how are they telling the phone that's inside that you need to go outside, right?
You're yelling through the window, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So you talked about a little before, and I just like asking like ley lines. Are you a big believer in ley lines and the veils thinning and all that fun stuff?
I think all of these things come from somewhere. Again, I don't know too much about them, but I know that a big deal's made of that when it comes to the ram, the fact that it's on the cross section of 2 ley lines, and maybe that's why it's so charged. I think historically, there's obviously been stories that have formed around these ley lines, so maybe there is something in it. That's where these stories come from. I don't think they come from nowhere, but maybe over time they get elaborated on a little bit, so maybe some of these stories are a bit bigger than what they were. But yeah, I think that there might be something to it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, me asking a question, I'm not a huge believer in them. The whole energy freeway, whatever you want to call it, I'm like, I mean, Raymond has a history. I think that's why.
Yeah.
think that's why it's haunted, because the history, not because, some
That's
electrical
where it is. Yeah.
power cord is crossing through there. I mean, I believe like maybe water, running water, because that is a conduit of electricity,
Yeah.
also could have something. But imagine, something, a ley line that you cannot see. It's not like running water where it's scientifically proven, but something you can't see is like, I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time believing it. Same with the veils thinning stuff. I mean, my philosophy on the veils thinning is there's 100 times more paranormal investigators out there now doing this. So obviously there's going to be more, I don't want to say more activity, but more people catching activity.
Yeah, more people catching stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's my philosophy on it.
No, I think that's a valid point as well. The more people that are throwing themselves out there, the more people look. We've all got phones with cameras on now, so as soon as something strange happens, phone's out of the pocket, and you've got an instant video camera with you, right? So things are going to get captured more regularly now than they ever did, going back sort of 20, 30 years, I suppose, because everyone's got a camera in their pocket nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Do you guys film a lot then?
Well, we haven't got night vision at the moment, so it's top of the list of things to get, but we will start to record it a lot more. The plan is that hopefully we can start to sort of live stream some of our stuff, but at the moment it'd just be hearing our voices and not being able to see anything. So once we get there, we'll get there, but we will do eventually. There's a lot more of still photos and cameras, and hoping that we're going to catch stuff.
Yeah, I am terrible at filming. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I go into a place like tonight. I'm going to this place tonight. I get all pumped up. I'm gonna film everything. I'll make a little show out of it. But after like 25 minutes, I just want to investigate. I don't want to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, you just want to be in the moment, isn't it? It's not, and I think that's another thing. Like, being in the moment makes you more receptive to the stuff that's going on around you. Whereas if you're concentrating on getting the camera in the right position and stuff, then you're not gonna you'll miss stuff. You might not necessarily capture it.
Well, plus now with social media, everybody's out there just for followers, and not everybody. I don't want to lump everybody together. But there's a lot of people out there just for followers. And, I was doing evidence review the other day, and I'm listening to my recording. It was like 2-hour long recording. I leave my recorder on all the time.
Yeah.
All I hear is someone like, "Hey, we're on TikTok. We're at this so-and-so house. We're live," like nonstop. Like, you're not even talking to the spirits of why you paid money to go there. You're just talking to people on TikTok. And which is fine. But when I'm recording something, dude, there's so many disembodied voices behind them talking. And I had no idea. I'm like, it said something. Like, there's an EVP there, but I can't tell what it is because the person won't shut up. Like,
and I think it's one thing I'm very conscious of is, unless it's a private event, then I wouldn't film it, because people who are there that are investigating alongside you, if they're not part of your group, they might not want to be on camera. They might not want to be plastered all over the internet on an investigation. So I'd only sort of film anything or go live with anything where it is just our group, where everybody's sort of consented to being online and stuff. But yeah, you've got to be in the moment. I suppose one of the best tools with being on an investigation is your body. You might get touched, you might hear something, you see something, and if you're too busy concentrating on trying to get the best angle or talking to the people who are watching, you're not in the moment and sensing what's going on around you.
Yeah, I mean, all your senses have to be up when you go into a place. I mean, and I'm like a huge believer in like positive energy, negative energy. And if you're just walking in there and you're only caring about your phone and what people are saying on that, then how much are you going to capture? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose to a certain extent earlier on, when I first set the group, I was probably chasing those followers on Facebook a little bit, just because it's like, well, why am I doing this? But actually now, no, I'm just going to put stuff out there when I've got something tangible to say, or something that's off the back of an investigation that I've been on. That's going to go out. maybe some stories about local folklore around the area. I'll get that out. Hopefully people will be interested in, and then the followers will come. I see a lot of posts at the moment of, we're on 483. Can we get the extra 17 to get us to 500 before the end of the year? You know, and that. And yes, I was doing that myself. Don't get me wrong. I was doing that myself.
Oh, we all do. But I mean, we all do. I mean, I asked for followers once, and I was like at 80 followers forever, and I just wanted to live stream some investigations because it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I need like 20 more followers to get 100. Well, like within 2 days, I'm up to 800 followers. Some group like took me under their wing and just, shot it out there. I just wanted 100, to be honest with you. But it is fun. I mean, the more followers you have, the more people you see your content.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am a big believer of, how do you get followers? You put stuff out there.
Yeah.
You just don't ask for it. And I've been proven wrong on this because I've seen groups that don't investigate and just ask for followers have a lot more followers than I do.
It's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? But it does happen. But yeah,
it does. I'm like, I go through a page. I'm like, you have your last 70 posts is follow me. Like, but you're a paranormal investigator. Put something out there.
Yeah, and I've probably gone too far the other way where I'm not putting enough out now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be just putting stuff out for the sake of putting stuff out just because I've not put a post out this week. I want it to be tangible, but I think there's a balancing act between the both and finding the best of both worlds. Really, not throwing stuff out for the sake of it, but not putting anything out. So I think you just need to find the middle ground. But Christmas got in the way. Personal circumstances meant I had other things. I had life getting in the way of doing a bit more stuff. But things are going to settle down, and then we'll get back into the rhythm of it, and we'll have some regular content going out ourselves. So,
yeah, like you said, just doing the history of places. I mean, that's history and paranormal go hand in hand. So, you putting a little video on a history of the Ram Inn, I'd watch it because it's interesting to me.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely get some more stuff out there, and then I suppose the broader history. Bristol, just down the road, home of Blackbeard the pirate, right? So we've got a big maritime history that not even touched on yet, and I'd love to do some investigations on that side of things, but that's for another day. At the moment, focusing on the Cotswolds and stuff around my area. But yeah, there's a lot of history around within sort of an hour's radius of where I live, let alone going sort of further out across to London and places like that. So
that's cool. Like the one thing I do is, when we get to a location, I will send someone in there solo on Facebook Live. Like, before we go in, and there's two reasons, is to go Facebook Live and walk around that place. You're not investigating; you're just walking around and giving like a little history, not a history. Because there's people like, if you did that, a Ram Inn, I'd definitely watch it because I've never been there, and I probably never will be there. It's 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Because people want to see that. People want to see the Ram Inn, not just as an investigation, but as just a walkthrough. And my videos seem to get decent hits on that. Like I sent my brother in a place he had some, very good experiences. And he didn't know it. Like right before we walked in, I gave him my phone. I'm like, hey, go do solo. See ya. And he wasn't it was only his second investigation. And he was like, man, really? I'm like, go see it. And it was a great video. But I mean, and plus, second of all, I want people to go get the feeling. Like if you walk past a room, like you said, your body is your best piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, something dark in there. Just remember that. We'll go back there and investigate it. So there's two reasons why I do that. Plus, I like to scare my teammates a little bit. So sending them there solo gets them freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, I mean, put content out. And I was always like a big believer, like Emily Paranormal is very good at putting content out.
Yeah, I love Emily. She's really good.
Yeah. And I always try to use her as an example because she has a lot of followers. And the reason why she did it, I mean, you can ask her. I know why. I mean, I think everybody knows why she started doing it. But she just doesn't do paranormal. She does history. She goes walks around. I mean, That's how she teaches her kids about history. Go to these places.
Yeah.
So, no, it's cool. I mean, yeah, put content out. It's not the most important thing, but having followers is fun. I mean, I wish I had more because then more people will see this video. But
yeah, I think there's too many people out there doing it just for the numbers because they want to try and make some money off of their content. So it's all money driven, I think, a lot of the time, and I don't think that's what for me. I changed the stuff that we have, but my tagline or strapline used to be seeking the truth, because that's what it's all about for me. It's about finding the truth. Does something exist or does it not exist? For me, there's too many stories out there for it not to exist, and I just want to find some form of, it definitely exists, and that's the driver for me in terms of why I'm interested in all of this. It's taken me to get to my 40s to start investigating, but I was playing a lot of sport when I was younger. Now I don't have the sport, so this is now my hobby that's taken over from playing the sport, right? So
it is a hobby. I mean, people got to realize that too. It's a hobby. But you're talking about like stories. I mean, obviously that's why you got into it. I was asked that question last night of why I'm into this, and I had to write a little, like, I don't want to say essay, but they want to know everything. So I ended up filling this thing out and thinking about it, and I'm like, and it just came out, and it makes sense to me. Like, the stories have changed in these buildings so many times. I've been doing this one place for 18 years. It's my 15th time going back there tonight. Yeah. And the stories have changed. So I'm just trying to find the right story, try to get their story out. And the way I put it was like, when people die, the only thing that's left is their memories or your memories of them. And I want to keep those alive. Like the buildings, the history, those are always be remembered. But the memories of the staff and the people there, they're forgotten. And maybe that's why they're, I guess, trapped. I mean, I don't know. Again,
I think you're right. And I think energy comes back in a different form, right? So for me, part of my thought process is that our life energy has to go somewhere. So why can it not manifest itself as a spirit within a location? Scientifically, energy comes back in a different form. So maybe our life energy comes back in the form of a spirit, and that is the scientific evidence that we're looking for. But it seems to get discounted so easily, and that can exist. When we die, but our energy has got to go somewhere for me. So I think that's.
Now, I mean, I don't know if you're a religious person, but a lot of people are like, no, you always go to heaven or you go to hell, whatever that is. I mean, but do you think maybe your energy stays here, but your soul can possibly still go?
I think so, possibly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not overly religious. I went to a Church of England school. I was christened. I don't go to church regularly now. But I think, our body's full of electricity and current running through it. So maybe that stays here somewhere, but maybe the deeper mind goes elsewhere. I don't know. But I also think there's two types of hauntings. I think, there's intelligent hauntings where they will interact with you, but also maybe stone tape where it's just something that's been played on a loop over and over again. The same, I can't remember where it was, but there was a story I read a couple of months ago that there's this nursery in the same time, certain times of the year, same time, same place. People would see somebody walking past in old style dress, and that would have been the routine that spirit did at that particular time of day. They're just living their life as if they were still here. They're not interacting with them. They don't even know that you're there. They're just going on their merry way. Whereas, when sometimes you're investigating and you're calling out, you're getting those the knocks that we had the weekend where, you're asking and you're like 2 for a yes, 1 for a no, and you're getting those taps. That's what I would call more of a, an active haunting rather than that sort of residual, that side of things.
I mean, what do you think, like percentage wise, like residual to intelligent hauntings?
I think the residual stone tape's probably the majority of them. And I think that's why it's so hard to capture, because I think it could just be that fleeting moment and you might not even realize that it was a spirit. You just see someone walking down the street and or they're dressed a bit differently to what you'd expect. But everyone's got their own way of their own style, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there was somebody from the 1940s or 50s or whatever it was. And I think that's why it's so hard to capture, because that could be a fleeting moment and it's gone. And when you're trying to get those intelligent responses, I think they're fewer. So when you're trying to communicate and get those recordings and answering your questions, it's hard to capture because I don't think there's quite so many of them. But that grey lady walking down the stairs is, that archetypal sort of ghost. I would say is a residual, and you'll capture it in the right moment, but it's not going to happen on demand. You're not calling out for it.
Yeah, I would believe that UK has to have a lot of residual for how deep your histories. I mean, you're just stacking on top of each other. I mean, like when I think of residual in the United States, I think Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And I mean, because it was a lot of bloodshed on those battlefields. And I think that's where a lot of people get their residual experiences, because that war never stopped. And so you have a lot of, like you said, the tape play. No, I'm always interested in everything. And it's always fascinating me what people believe, what is paranormal, what is residual. So
yeah, and I think it's the stories you hear of, like some of the hauntings over here, where like you'll just see like the top halves of people walking through, and then you look back and actually the street would have been sort of a meter or so lower. So actually they're just going across the road that they would have been walking on had that road not been built on. So it's that sort of thing that really fascinates me.
Yeah, I never even thought of it that way. Like, I mean, you guys are stacked. Like, there's towns on top of town.
Old Roman roads that have then been built on top of, with soil's been chucked on top of it, and then you've tarmacs over the top for your nice new road now, and then you just see the upper half of a sort of a Roman soldier going down the street. Actually, he would have probably been walking on the street that he was walking on back in the day.
You just see the head walk by.
Yeah, that sort of thing, so.
No, it's cool. I love talking to people in the UK. It's just your history is so unbelievable over there. And I'm trying to get over there. We'll see.
One day.
I'm actually trying next year, trying to get over there. So I'm turning 50 next year. So I'm trying to convince my wife that it'd be a good 50th birthday gift for me to go.
It would be.
Yeah. And I think it's going to happen personally. So, certainly. I mean, I appreciate you talking to us. We're an hour in here. And besides the Ram Inn, I mean, I know you've only been doing this like 18 months. What's one place that if I did go over there, I have to hit?
The Skirrid Inn, which is in Wales, is an interesting one. Hangman's Noose, all that sort of stuff, and it's in a nice area as well, so it'd be a nice place to visit, the Welsh countryside. So the Skirrid Inn, that would be a good one to visit. There's loads of places sort of in London. If you want to go to Scotland, Edinburgh Vaults, that would be a really good one to have a look at.
How far is Wales, like from where you're at? Like if you had to drive?
Where I am, it would be an hour's drive from where I am. So I'm sort of South Gloucestershire, Bristol. To get to Wales, it's probably a 45-minute drive over the bridge. There's a suspension bridge that links our area to Wales. So yeah, just across there. I'm 2 hours, about an hour and a half, 2 hours from London, where I am, in the opposite direction. So yeah, about an hour to Wales, yeah. Yeah,
because I mean, my family heritage is mostly Welsh. So I mean, if I'd go there, I'd love to go to Wales and see it. I think it was my mom's cousin actually went over there. This was before like Ancestry.com and everything.
Yeah.
He wanted to find a history of the family. So he went over to Wales and found out a lot of the old family members. Probably not what he was expecting. Most of us were robbers and murderers.
Okay.
we were pretty much criminals back in the day, I guess.
Well, there's a lot of that in the English history. Don't worry about that. And the Welsh history, all the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all robbers and
I'm like,
scoundrels back in the day.
we're lucky we didn't end up in Australia. I mean, 'cause that's where they send everybody. So,
Nice. Well, that's it.
no. But I would love to see Wales and all that. So, I mean, I was just wondering how far it would be to go there. I plan on doing like 4 or 5 nights over in UK. So, so we talked about equipment. Let's talk about your group a little bit. Like, how do you guys differ? And like, I hate saying these words, like sensitives, mediums, or are you just a bunch of normal Joes going out having a good time?
I'm not going to say that I'm a medium in the slightest, but I tend to pick up on things. When we were on our last investigation, we were doing a Ouija board session. I was consciously not looking at the Ouija board and had my eyes closed because I was picking up on stuff and I was jotting it down with one hand over here, and it was spilling out on the Ouija board over here, and I was consciously not looking at the Ouija board on purpose because but I wouldn't say, and I can't turn it on and off. It was just that moment. I was like, I'm sure this is going to happen. I don't get it all the time, but that happened. It was strange. Again, a personal experience for me. Anybody else say, well, you were just pushing it because you had this thing in your head, but I was consciously looking away on purpose, so the rest of the group knew that I wasn't influencing it. I'd say that Chelsea is probably a bit more skeptical, and Jason, I'd say, is a bit more skeptical. I think they would need to see something quite big for them to dive onto it. I think they're obviously interested in it. Obviously, we won't be investigating, right? So there must be an element of belief in there, but they're very much the ones that like look for the debunk first. And I think I'm that way as well. But I'm more sensitive than Gail, who's Jason's wife. She's there. She's along for the ride. She thinks she's a bit more of a believer about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we've got a few more that have come along sort of in and out, and it's a broad mix of sort of how much they believe, how much they're skeptic. But we're very much more sort of center. We're not out and out, yeah, definitely exists. We're not, definitely doesn't exist. We're very much grounded in that middle ground, whereas we just want to see the evidence or capture that one thing, see it for ourselves. You know, I think that's where we're set.
I mean, you have to have skeptics. I mean, I believe that's a big thing, having a skeptic. My friend's a skeptic. He goes because his wife goes.
Yeah.
And like, I always call him the more emotional support crutch for her. She is very sensitive to this stuff, and she gets freaked out a little bit. And he's kind of there like, shut up, no, you didn't see that, type thing. Yeah, you need that. And debunking, you have to debunk. I mean, that's just the way that everything is not paranormal. But yeah, I mean, I didn't mean it like I hate saying the word sensitive mediums, like I don't believe. It's just there's so many out there, and again, personal experience. Like,
yeah, for sure.
How hard would it be to prove to me that you're sensitive? I mean, I actually can't. I mean, but I'm not taking it away. I think a lot of people are sensitives. I think when 99% of people are sensitives, it's just how sensitive are you? Because we've all walked into that dark room and felt uneasy. Yeah,
and I think we only use a certain amount of our brains, right? It's scientifically proven that we don't use the full capacity of our brain. Maybe some people are more in tune to that part of their brain than others. I don't know. The analogy I like to use is before cell phones, where it comes up on the screen who was calling. Your landline will ring, you're like, oh, that would be so and so, and you pick up the phone, it's them on the end of the phone, right?
Yeah.
There's a slight tuning in there, but I don't know.
Man, I think it's how much you open yourself up to. I mean, I'm not calling myself so sensitive because I used to make fun of sensitives all times in the beginning, but the more I get to talk to people, I've learned, yes, there are sensitives out there. There are mediums, there are psychics out there. But I think the more you investigate, the more you open yourself up to the possibility of spirits that, again, you get more in tune. Because, I mean, I walk in a place. I'd be interested to talk to you like in 2 years, how much your sensitivity has gone up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I guarantee it. Like, you will be a lot more sensitive, I believe. And it's an art. Takes time. I've talked to psychic mediums where they're scared, especially mediums are scared because they don't know how to control it. So I think, controlling your abilities is huge. And hopefully you turn that off when you get home because you don't want to feel anything in your house. So,
yeah.
Do you investigate your house?
I've not, no.
It's always a topic. It's always a topic.
I've got the dowsing rods out when I'm trying to find something to see if it can point me in the direction of where it actually is. I think it's more luck than judgment sometimes. It's worked once or twice, but
like where my car keys at, type
yeah.
thing.
It's normally when the kids have lost something. It's like, well, where's my boy put that? Where's she put that?
I mean, dowsing rods are one thing I've gotten away from, and I don't know why. I love them. It's just like, I think the human interference with them, and like you said, you can do it. Subconsciously, you can be moving those too.
Yeah, I think so. So I think you could subconsciously be moving them for sure. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean they're hard, but I mean, honestly,
I think that's why it's so hard with the field, to be honest, because you could be subconsciously moving the Ouija board, the planchette, the glass, whatever you're using. You could be subconsciously moving the dowsing rods, and then with the sort of tech, you don't know how it's programmed. So it's like all of these things are a cacophony of, well, there's always a way that you can debunk it. Well, you're just moving that yourself, or it's programmed to just spell out random words. And I think that's why it's going to be so hard for us to find evidence. And as we touched on, with AI coming in, it's going to be so much harder to get that definitive proof, I think.
But I think if you have different pieces of equipment out there, like you have the EMF, you got the motion sensor, dowsing rods, and people with abilities, psychic mediums. Like you just can't go in and say I'm a psychic medium and say there's a kid in the corner and walk out.
Yeah.
All right, great. But like I always tell people, like if you're a medium and there's a kid in the corner, break a recorder out or break a REM pod out and say, hey, little kid, I'll touch the REM pod. And it touches a REM pod, like, okay. Or you get a little girl on a recorder, like, okay, now you're legit. Like, I'm gonna believe you now.
That's it, yeah, for sure.
But you just can't walk in like, oh yeah, there's a party going on over there, it's full of spirits. Just leave.
They don't want to talk to us. They're just not going to touch anything. But I'm telling you, they're there, but they just don't want to talk to us.
Well, I mean, that's why we have different equipment, to validate other equipment. So, no, it's interesting. I mean, maybe I'll use dowsing rods tonight. I keep saying it. Like I'm going to say I keep going to video camera. It doesn't happen, but maybe I'll use dowsing rods tonight. My favorite pastime in the last 6 months, it's watching the dowsing rods on TikTok.
Is it? I've not done that yet.
Oh, don't. It's terrible.
Gets you to sleep though, right?
It's so funny. I mean, as a paranormal investigator, people that you do use them, dude. I mean, I'll put my hands up here. They're like this.
Yeah.
And just people randomly asking questions. They're like, no. Yes. No. Yeah. I'm like, try not to move your hands so much. Like, yeah. I mean, but you can see him go, oh yeah, no, he's not going to marry you. Move on. It's funny. I mean,
yeah,
you're running to
it's your fault, Ryan. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to watch that later. As soon as we finish, I'm going to be on TikTok looking at dowsing rod videos.
There's so many psychics and everything on TikTok. I work night shift a lot, so it passes the time. I laugh. So, and of course, I'm yelling at my phone. I'm like, you can't do that. But nah, it's cool. I like to keep this around an hour. We're an hour and 9 minutes in right now. But anything else you want? I mean, so you guys have Facebook page, right?
We do, yeah.
Anything else?
Facebook. We've got Instagram. We have got a TikTok, but not done much on that yet. But that's going to ramp up in the new year. So TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram are the three that we're using.
No, I mean, I say this to a lot of people that You guys are doing it right. Because it's about having fun, hanging out with friends, having a good time, and finding some answers. That's
it. That's what it's all born for, and hopefully we're doing it right. We don't try to fabricate anything like some people do just to get those clicks. It's all about the truth. So yeah, sometimes we'll say we're going on an investigation and you don't say anything because we didn't find anything. That's fine, because you're not going to find everything every time you go.
No, you're not. Still a little jealous. We're right next to the Ram Inn. I mean, if I go over there, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to do the Ram Inn sometime. If I do go to the UK, I think that has to be one place I do have to do for sure. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Put it on your list.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple. I talked to Emily, or mentioned, not talk, but mentioned some places I would like to hit. So
yeah.
She seems to have the in on a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
Again, if you ever want to come to the United States, look me up.
Will do.
Get some places. I don't see a reason to come over here, to be honest. I mean, you're talking, if we do one place, you have to take a plane to go do another place.
Yeah.
They're so spread out in the United States compared to what, I mean, Wales is an hour down the road. I mean, you go to London. I mean,
yeah, we are lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky, and the history is great. But again, I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
Keep doing what you're doing. Everybody follow them. This will be on, messed up on my Facebook, but I'll post it on my Facebook after recording, but whatever. Yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, but yeah, like Ryan said, if you do follow us, don't feel like you've got to, but follow us. Love to sort of chat to you, hear more from you guys as well. Love to collab. I know that you're over in America, we're UK, but even just communicating and sharing ideas and different things that will work for you and learning. It's all about the learning for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything's a learning experience. And again, just keep doing what you're doing. I love talking to groups that are just, they're friends, family, hanging out, having a good time. I mean, that's what this is supposed to be about, creating memories. As I said, memories are the only thing we have left once we go. So
for sure,
let's create those memories and have a good time. And you never know, I might be on your doorstep one day. Hey, let's go to Ram Inn.
Let's do it, yeah. Well, if you do book anything, let me know. We'll make sure we can catch up.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Next time, try to get your group members on. Obviously, you're always welcome to come on the show. If something crazy happens,
we'll stay in touch for sure.
Yeah, stay in touch. I mean, I'd love to hear over stuff there. Everything over there, but I'm going to have to end this because I have to go do an investigation.
Well, enjoy. I look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, I'll be on. So, again, I appreciate it. Keep it real. Keep it you. Keep it scary, whatever they say. I don't know what they say over there. But I appreciate it. I hate ending these, but keep in touch. And thank you for coming on.
Cheers. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.